What is up guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to one of the most remote islands off the coast of Sri Lanka. It is super chaotic, but I'm taking you there to share a really special story, so come along. Oh wow! We have made it in one piece. I did not puke, although the ride was horrendous. Most important thing to note is to take the morning boat, it's a bigger boat, so that it's less bumpy on the water. So that's something to keep in mind. You're gonna get a little wet here and there, so cover yourself. I brought a towel because I want to cover myself from the sun. Maybe even a raincoat. We were discussing a raincoat might be a good idea for next time, depending on where you sit. But overall, we've made it here. It took us about an hour, and now it is time for us to get into our transport and head towards our accommodation for our stay here in Delft. Alright, so this is our ride for the evening. This is how they transport groups around the island. This is a tractor, but they call this a landmaster. We are here at Delft JK's village stay. We've stayed here before and we've loved it, and I can't wait to show you guys. It's been growing ever since we've come here the first time, and it's looking better and better. Wow! Part of the reason why we came back to Delft is to share the inspiring story of this young local who's been making waves on the island.
So I'm Vithushan. I born in this island. I was studying in this island until 10 years, and then I moved to Jaffna for my school, and then I moved to Colombo for my higher studies. 2020, when the COVID time, I came to visit my grandparents here. So I was stuck in this island. I just build these things for my friends to share the experience to the people. So why I can't do this for the other people?
Alright, so we are in a major rush. We're rushing off to go and watch sunset. We're going to go towards the northern end of the island, take a boat, go off on the waves and watch the sun set on the boat itself. So I'm super excited. We're running a bit late, so we should hurry up. Also, this noise is because there is a Christian festival that's happening on the island at the moment. There are quite a few, and when they happen this sound comes on, but when they turn off, God, it's so beautiful. The sound of absolutely nothing, just wind and nature. So we are cycling to the spot right now, and we're taking the scenic route, the one that really gives most of the village vibes. And it's so beautiful out here, especially these pink color vines that kind of hang on to the coral walls that have been built for generations here. And it's something that's really unique about Delft Island. I've only seen it here, and it's very much a part of its culture. And look, I have this cute matching bike, and there are multiple bikes at Village Stay that you can rent for the day. The weather is really nice, the air is cool, the sun is low, it's golden on the horizon, and it's just really beautiful out here. And I think it's one of those places in the world that are rare to find nowadays, where tourism has spread far and wide. Here is a place where it's still so raw and down to earth and real true village life that you can experience without disturbing the actual village life. I ramble, but I gotta rush now. I thought about it for a second as to why it's managed to stay this way, and it's because of how remote it is and how difficult it is to get here. In fact, you have residents actually leaving this island and not coming back because it's so remote and difficult to live a modern life here. So the place is truly built to remain this way. However, I think it will change with time. So it's best that you make the arduous effort and journey to come here and see it while it still remains true to its nature, and preserve it as well. I think that's what I really like about Vithushan's village stay. He's really adamant on conserving this aesthetic and keeping the charm of village life alive. And he's really making an effort to keep the environment clean. And as a result, he's attracting that kind of people to his hostel as well. There's so many lovely people from around the world that have come and that have created beautiful pieces of artwork that are very eco-conscious, that have beautiful impacts and stories to tell and encourage people to conserve nature. So it's wonderful, and I really hope that it attracts more and more of the right kind of people who really appreciate this kind of experience. It's not about the comforts, it's not about ACs, it's about having a true real life experience. Where are you going? Oh, they're leaving me. I just find it so fascinating that an hour ago I was dying and about to throw up because of how choppy the waves were to get here. But now that I'm here, just look at it, it's like a pool. It's just so nice, it's just this soft sound of waves lapping on the water. It's like glass. I could swim here for hours. In fact, I was a little worried about this sunset boat ride, but not anymore. I'm super excited. And so we have made it to see the beautiful sunset. Unfortunately, it's a bit cloudy, but that does not take away from its charm. And behind me here, you see a very traditional fish entrapment technique that is used by the fishermen who live on this island. And that actually leads me to my next point, which is the fact that everyone on this island is self-sustaining and have been for generations, because they are cut off from mainland and they do get in their supplies like water and things like that, but everything else that they need is grown here, reared here, and farmed and fished here, which is something that I really like for me, because I believe in people being self-sustaining. These people are able to feed themselves and take care of their families by themselves. But interestingly enough, other than tourism, there isn't any other form of income per se that really comes in to this island. I guess now you can see a few more shops and groceries popping up, I suppose, but it's very rare. And what I want to know is what happens when tourism increases. So for example, right now the boat that we're on is actually a fisherman's boat. Now this is extra income for him, which is wonderful, and it supports him and his family when he's not able to make a catch. But at which point do they drop their self-sustaining lifestyle in order to make more money through tourism? And this is something that we do see happening in islands as well, especially I think if you take Sri Lanka as a big island, we ourselves have had that same problem. I think there is something or a form of tourism that can be beneficial to the island, an ecotourism, a sustainable tourism, one that is in sync with the natural ways of the people that live here, one that can add value to it while also not taking away its importance to them. And I think the question is, how do we encourage that kind of tourism? The kind of tourism that attracts eco-conscious travelers who want to experience things in their natural state and not really manipulate surroundings to fit their wants and needs when they travel across the world. There is a type of traveler like that, but how do we connect that traveler to places like Delft that are just starting out, taking its first steps into tourism, and how do we guide them into taking them the correct way so that their environment is preserved, their lifestyle is preserved, their culture is preserved, and that preservation is what attracts tourists to the island. That is something that I think about often.
In this island, what I am going to do is to build a community-based tourism. Here we are not selling the rooms, so we are selling the experience. The vehicle owners, the boats, fishing, and the boat ride, the Palmyrah Toddy thing, and also the cooking experience. Everything I'm connecting with the community. It's kind of a mutual benefit for us and for them.
So the last time we came to Delft, and which if you haven't seen that video, you should go back and check out our Delft video. It has a lot of things that we explored here, but there are quite a few things that we missed out on. For example, while we did get to try the Palmyrah fruit, we tried the ripe version of it. This is the unripe version, and the beauty of the Palmyrah fruit is that you can have it when it's ripe and unripe. And a lot of people actually prefer it this way. So these are the seeds within the fruit, and they form a jelly-like substance around it, and you can just push them. You can push them out like this. It's very nice. It's really refreshing. It's a little cool to the touch, and I think I might prefer Palmyrah fruit unripe than ripe. But it's also something to note is that it's super nutritious in whichever form it is. It tastes a lot like the inner flesh of the king coconut, that like white color thing that's around it. It tastes like very fresh and jelly-like that, except that there is more of this in a reachable area. So if you like that, what we call in Sinhala lunda, you'll really enjoy this. And there's a lot of it in here. It's just one of the many ways that the people of the north use this Palmyrah tree, which provides a lot of benefits for them. Actually, they use the tree from root to tip, whether it's the leaves, the fruit, the bark, for wood, all of it is used, nothing is wasted. It's actually considered like a very beneficial tree for the people in this area. Also, it's very rare to come across the unripe version. It's only available 2 months of the year, so we're very lucky that we were able to get it. And apparently the English name for the Palmyrah fruit when it's unripe is called ice apple. And I can understand why, because it does have a very cooling texture inside it. Overall, I am a big fan, and I will be picking these up in Colombo when it's super warm outside. Now we're off to check out the other delicacy that is widespread on the island, in Jaffna, in the north, and even down south around the island. It's a all-island favorite, and that is Toddy. So we're going to see the Toddy tappers go up, get the goods, bring it down, and maybe even try it. The Toddy tappers climb the tree twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. And the process of acquiring the toddy is by cutting the flower that is created by the toddy plant and keeping a pot underneath it or tying a pot onto the tree to collect this sap. And what they do is they will do this in the morning, and then they will climb again in the evening, collect the pot that has collected the sap so far and replace it with another pot, and they will freshen the cut once more as well to ensure that the sap continues to flow. And the beauty of toddy is that it's completely natural, and it actually has certain health benefits. And it was alluded that a lot of the reasons why people who had toddy back in the day didn't get ill was it was actually a very cleansing drink. It cleans your insides, and that was the thought process. It also is a drink that once collected freshly from the tree is very sweet and refreshing and doesn't have very much of a high alcohol content. There is a little bit, but as you keep it, the longer you keep it, the more it ferments and the more alcohol builds up and the stronger the drink becomes. So this is the end product that has been collected. Apparently this is fresh off one of the trees and it's one of the sweeter ones. However, if they haven't been tapping the tree regularly, it can be not as sweet. So let's try this one. I can get a very yeasty smell from this actually, not in a bad way. Smells like something I've smelled before. Oh wow, that's very nice. It has that yeasty flavor, but it's sweet. I like it. It's really nice. It would be amazing with a couple of ice cubes in it. So I finally figured out what it smells like when I was saying yeasty. It smells like the hopper batter. It smells like fermentation, which means it's probably an amazing probiotic and it's very good for your gut. And that's why the ancient stories of this drink claim that it's a very good drink that cleanses your entire system and keeps your immunity up and keeps the laborers and the hard workers in good shape. So that's me just putting 2 and 2 together. I'm sure if we Google and find out, there'll be even more health benefits to this drink. And one more thing is, apparently when it comes to Palmyrah trees, the toddy you collect, the fruit that you eat, the flavor of it changes from tree to tree. It's not like commercial trees like an apple tree or things like that where they have been bred to taste a certain way. These ones change from tree to tree depending on the nutrition and a lot of other factors, I'm assuming. But Very nice. And now it is time for the part of the day that I have been most excited and looking forward for. It is kool time. So kool is a seafood soup that is very popular in the north and within the Tamil community, and it's something that I've tried a long time ago when I came to Jaffna. I've had kool since then, but nothing has matched up to the kool that I had with Siva's family in their garden, made all together with fresh ingredients. I've had them at hotels since, but it doesn't match up. So I'm convinced that kool has to be cooked outdoors on an open fire with a family together with fresh ingredients, fresh seafood, for it to really be an authentic kool. So that's what we're doing here. Vithushan from Village Stay told us that this is one of the experiences that they give for the people who stay here. So I definitely wanted to experience this again. Here is the setup, and we've got all the ingredients prepared in the kitchen, and we're going to come out and put it in here. So I'll talk you guys through it. So you begin the process by having your pot of water boiling and then slowly beginning to add the hardest of things that will take the longest of time to boil. So we started with the manioc as well as the jackfruit seeds as well as the beans, and you wait for them to be around half cooked before continuing to put in the seafood. Now the seafood included fresh fish, crab and cuttlefish, and now we are starting to add in some of the flavor points. So we've got mashed garlic, and when we did this previously on mainland with Siva's mom, I think we blended the garlic and the chili together, but here we are doing it manually by grinding it with a mortar and pestle. And we also have a super ingredient in Sri Lanka that we use a lot for seafood dishes like crab and kool, which is moringa. We call it moringa leaves, but you may know it as moringa leaves in the rest of the world. So this right here is the moringa leaf. I think the vegetable that this grows on is the drumstick. I'm not sure. But this is a very, very nutritious superfood that we add into our seafood dishes. And here we've also added some turmeric. Moringa leaves have gone in. Now we get a big wooden spoon and start mixing it all up. And again, when we did this in mainland, we used a blender to blend all the chilies together with some water to create the chili paste. But here we're doing the traditional way and using a very traditional mortar and pestle. So now we are putting in the most important ingredient, which is the odial powder. Odial is the Palmyrah root powder, and it's mixed with the freshly ground chilies that we made. And the second most important ingredient is the tamarind paste. Tamarind paste is used as a souring agent, and this is made with fresh tamarind and water mixed together. These two are the most important ingredients. Without the odial powder or the Palmyrah root powder, it's just a soup. It's just an ordinary soup. This is what acts as a thickening agent, as well as it has a very specific flavor that it adds. Lastly, we are very famous in Sri Lanka for using tamarind as a souring agent for a lot of seafood dishes. This is going in last, and the way that they know the soup is ready for the powder and the souring agent, the tamarind, is that everything will settle into the bottom. And those two are the final two most important ingredients. So our kool is now almost ready for consumption. It is now 1 hour later and our kool is ready for consumption. Look at this beautiful picturesque place that we are dining in today. And these are also leaves from the Palmyrah tree, and this is how we are going to have them. These are our bowls. This is how they're traditionally had. And isn't it interesting how within this day itself, we've experienced so many use cases of the Palmyrah tree, from the leaves being used as bowls, to the powder which is used to thicken and flavor the soup, to trying the fruit that gives you two ways to use it, whether it's ripe or unripe. It's absolutely amazing the amount of benefits that this tree provides in this very dry, arid area. Even though the region is dry, it is very fertile. That's also something to keep in mind. So, without further ado, shall we try it? Shall I serve some? Here we go. Okay.
there were more than 25,000 people before 25 years, but now it's only 3,000. So there is no one here to develop the island. My dream is in this boundary, I'm going to try to give the solution for my thing first. So even I can try some organic vegetable and stuff. So with that, I'm going to mix the tourism thing. But I don't need to increase the capacity and I don't need to sell more things. So the uniqueness, and I can get some very unique people. I don't know what it's called. Own sustainability, right?
Self-sustaining.
Yeah, self-sustaining.
2 years ago when we arrived on Delft, we didn't understand how special this place would turn out to be for us. And it's been really wonderful to see Vithushan take and his journey from 2 years ago to where he is now, and speaking to him and learning about his intentions for the future. It really gives us hope that Delft, which is one of the most remote places on the island, has hope of developing sustainably, as it's in early development at the moment. But the projection of people like Vithushan, who are the young people in this industry of tourism here on the island, and what they want to achieve, really gives us hope of seeing this place develop into a tourism spot that is wholly sustainable but also booming in a way. And it's very exciting because a lot of the other places around the island have already developed, and we've seen the errors that they have. They're very difficult to fix now, but we can see Delft in its early stages and it's looking very promising, and we really hope that it does go the right way. If you haven't seen our first video on Delft, which we did 2 years ago, that's the one you need to watch if you want to know what are the things you can do on the island, from the horses and the sightseeing. All of that is on our first vlog. Make sure you check that out. This one is more of a fun one that we did to enjoy all the experiences that we can have here at Village Stay. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.